Hello, everybody. Today, Ricardo here from the European Community and Town Hall, interviewing FiDa, a very innovative project in the insurance area.
Rodolfo, welcome to this interview of the European Cardano community. Very glad to see you again. You joined our town hall yesterday, so thank you very much for that. Maybe you can tell us a bit about yourself, and then we go to your project.
Hi guys, I'm Rodolfo Hansen. I've been a follower of Cardano specifically since I first heard about it at a functional programming conference where Philip Wadler was recruiting developers and engineers to the effort. I since then fell in love with the community that is behind Cardano, and I understand it really gets the problems that society is like tackling right now, the true ones, uh, not the ones on the surface. And I really believe in our ability to do impact positively on the world. So I was at the conference because I am a software developer at heart, and I see the value in Cardano specifically because of its attention to detail and quality. There's a movement in math, sciences, and programming in general where we're striving to get things that are done correct by construction. So you could sort of look up that term, and even before Cardano, I've been working on propagating and teaching this notion of leveraging the Curry-Howard correspondence for writing code that just does exactly what you wrote it to do. Maybe not what you wanted to do, but definitely exactly what you wrote it to do.
Okay.
So that's a little bit my background. Go ahead.
Great, thank you. All right, so and we understand you're having a proposal for the Fund 10 in the Cardano Catalyst project. Tell us about the project and also maybe also about your team.
Yeah, perfect. So this project, FiDa, is spearheaded between myself and Andrew Bonus, which we've known each other for almost more than 30 years now. It's an interesting friendship and story, but we've come into this venture. Him coming from the insurance industry right now, and myself in tech and let's say the Cardano ecosystem to address problems and opportunities in the sector, right? The insurance hasn't changed in, I'm going to say, 500 years. He'll know better, and he'll do that story better. But decentralization, the opportunities it offers for reinventing and democratizing this industry is impressive, right? I believe that what we can do for insurance is going to be pretty close to what blockchain has already done for other things in finance, right? Payments and notions of escrow, which are no longer even necessary. In that vein, we've worked together before. This would be our second startup. We are pairing with teams of developers already in the Cardano ecosystem, namely Binar Apps, and developers as well from our previous startup. Carlos is there, and we're just building the protocol to do risk transfer, which is the core behind any insurance contract or insurance plan.
Okay, so maybe you can guide us for a normal user that would interact with the protocol. What would be the user experience like?
Okay, so oddly enough, this is it's very specific. There's not necessarily a let's call it a B2C type of scenario where you're going to go and request insurance. That's not immediately in the plan. The key users here would be the underwriter. These are all now insurance terms. So there's the underwriter, there's the policy holder, which is the person who's being insured, and then there's the brokers that are looking for funding this insurance. So it's a little bit of a map of the current insurance strategy, where you open up and split out the investor branch and spread that out to people who have now access to, let's say, securities around the insurance product. So you go and you see the different yields, different risks, and for the different products of what you will be insuring. That's what the investor will see.
Okay, so in this diagram, basically, the policyholder would be the one who bought the insurance. Let's say a life insurance, as an example, right?
Yeah.
And then the lead underwriter would be the company which is issuing the insurance policies, or?
Yeah. So the lead underwriter is the company who is, or the person who is determining the specifics of the policy. So let's say it is a climate policy for agriculture, which I think is a good example we can go with, right? And then share how we see it, how we see the platform and the protocol evolving. So he goes and says, okay, so we're going to make an insurance policy for farms in, let's say, the Napa Valley, right? And that's going to be usually for winemakers or people who are growing olives or what have you, right? And then we go and say, okay, so these people, they need to be insured against drought, right?
Yeah.
Or really high temperature fronts. Then you say, okay, the probability of over a year for there to be less than 10 millimeters of water per day is X, or that the grapes will have too much sun is Y. So that means we can set a rate for a field of 20 hectares, or however you want to measure area, to let's say 3%, right? That means that farmers, the policyholder, goes and say, okay, I'm looking at this insurance policy. It is exactly what I need. It has the coverage I need. This is my farm. This is where it is. And I apply and I say, okay, I want this insurance. Then on the platform, brokers and investors, which would be essentially the same, you go, you say, okay, I'm going to back this insurance. The yield I am going to get is the 5%. I can't remember the number I said from the underwriter. I'm going to back this. I'm going to back this insurance. It's going to be part of my portfolio, and the insurance starts. The policy starts, and the policyholder has the responsibility of paying according to the terms. Let's say a monthly fee of $100 ADA or whatever the denomination is.
Okay, so Rodolfo, there is this slide showing the portfolios and this RDR. Maybe you can explain to the audience what RDR is and how to read this slide.
Perfect. Yes. So this is basically the main win we get as investors when using the FiDa protocol. The idea is you replicate the same capability that is given to only the bigger players in the insurance industry, where they're able to, same as to under allocate their investments, right? Say they have a big enough portfolio that it's impossible or virtually impossible for all claims to happen at the same time. We were going on about the farmer in the Napa Valley. Say you have in another claim as an investor a house very close by for flood insurance, right? If there's a heat wave and the farmer needs to affect his claim, there isn't going to be a flood right next door. So the likelihood of both events happening at the same time is ridiculously low. And this allows you as an investor to build up a portfolio that's diversified enough that we can say, hey, of all these claims you have, right, the yellow, the blue, the magenta, purple, and green, it's only ever actually possible. Only 30% of these will be claimable for their lifetime, right? So that means you only need to supply 30% of the total insured amount, right? That's what's called Solvency II in European and the European standards for insurance. And this is what the protocol brings to regular investors, right? It allows you to be capital efficient in the same way that bigger players, bigger insurers are able to do.
Okay, so this means in the protocol, which would be the ones that would be interacting with the blockchain component?
Perfect. So the whole card, your portfolio lives on the blockchain, right? The policy, the whole system actually runs on the blockchain, where a policy holder, when he's holding a policy, essentially he's holding an NFT for that represents that it's contract, right? It represents his insurance contract, and it represents the payout of the insurance. Say, for example, you are the farmer, and for whatever reason, you need to sell your farm, right? You don't need to cancel your insurance contract anymore. You don't need to do all these things. You just literally pass on the NFT to the new homeowner, and he needs now, like, it's the new wallet, it's a new address. He needs now to pay the premium, right? And same for the investors. The insurance contracts that they have that they've invested in become UTXOs, or just fractions or notes, bills, right? Holdings in their wallets.
Okay, so this means the investors would have a fungible token, most probably, for that specific contract, and then they would have a portion of the total allocation, so that is distributed to all investors.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. When it comes to identity, what are your plans with regards to, let's say, tackling this topic? Because, I mean, it's a legal matter. It could be that there is a dispute. So how are you going about this topic of identity and know your customer if it was a traditional bank, for example?
That is a great question. What we've done is to modularize and separate things, right? At the core is the risk transfer protocol. It's the part that tokenizes things, right? Does the NFT for the policy holders, creates the contract on chain, does the fungible tokens that represents the parts for the investors, right? And that is instantiable. So I could have an instance of the protocol for the laws in here in the Netherlands, another one for the laws in Bermuda, and I can't have one that is wholly on chain and follows a different set of requirements and features, right? How it does KYC, how it does AML, how disputes are settled. In the core protocol, we plan to do it according to Bermuda laws, where there is support for on-chain insurance systems, and there the investors need to do KYC, AML, as well as the rest of the parties. There, it's similar to this diagram, where the broker is a legal entity that is licensed to do insurance in Bermuda. And FiDa, the protocol, will follow the broker, right? So the broker is, if I were in the insurance business like Andy, I'd give you a name, but he's John, and he's putting 20% of the contract in fiat, right? Mm-hmm. And then the other 80% is funded through our system, right? It's funded through FiDa, and then multiple investors are able to then participate and follow John as a broker. So outside the chain, the broker understands that a claim is real and settlement needs to be done, and that then triggers automatic settlement and payment through the FiDa system.
Understand. So far, I understand the solution would be using a stable coin, meaning the contracts themselves would be then using one of the stable coins used in the Cardano environment, or what is the plan there?
That's a great question, and I'll introduce another topic with it. Yes, for this example, for the Bermuda version, it's probably going to be settled in something that tracks USD. So a stable coin that parties agree in. One of the nice things about Cardano is that changing the asset does not change the risk profile. So on Ethereum, the moment you change from ETH to some other token, you introduce smart contract risk. That does not happen in Cardano. That's very important for these purposes, right? That said, another instance of the protocol that we're very much interested in, and we have a proposal around this alternative path, is one that is wholly on-chain. It's a little bit more self-service than this diagram, which is complicated because of regulatory requirements, right? To live in the real world, we need all this structure. In this other alternative, which I unfortunately don't have a slide, it's more self-service, and you can bring in Oracle feeds, for example, for the farmer. So instead of having a broker say, yes, this is there was a flood, or yes, there was a heat wave, and he needs to manually make this transaction to have the payout occur, you track Oracle data from Charlie 3 or whoever we pair up with, and automatically do a payout. And then the currency is agreed upon between both parties, right? If the farmer says he's willing to just take ADA, right, for his payment, then that's perfectly doable.
Okay, I understand. Great. Rodolfo, very interesting, very exciting. If the community members would love to have more details, how can they reach out to you, and what is the current next steps planned in your project?
So we're building already. If you want to reach out, we are on Twitter, and I think I'm alone in our Discord channel. I'll paste you the link because we haven't even added it to our website, but this is our website, fida.finance. From there, you'll find us on Twitter and Telegram, but I'll send you the Discord link. as well.
Great. Don't know if you have seen it, but also in the European Town Hall, we have this Builders Corner where everybody can post their projects and also use the existing community to interact and get some feedback, etc. So more than welcome also for you to place your updates there. We're always looking at strengthening the European community, even if your project is also international.
Perfect. Yeah, I think we're already there, and I look forward to speaking to all of you in the future.
All right. Thank you so much. Amazing time with you, and looking forward also maybe at a future time to get to know also the other team members. Thank you very much, and wish you a pleasant day and a nice weekend.
Have a nice weekend, Ricardo.
All right, that's it. Thank you everybody for joining today. Contact the team and plan an interview about your Catalyst proposal before it's too late. Bye-bye.